I think we're connecting.
Yay! Yay! Oh my gosh. Technology, it's killing me.
I know. I was telling everybody this is our first time doing Instagram Live with somebody. So
I've never had problems with internet, and it's like, I don't know if everyone's doing their homework right now, but anyways, I'm here. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to watch, just like you, I'm going to watch with it muted so that people can hear us talk about it. So we won't necessarily know it. I'm not going to know what the commentators say, but it's Joe. Oh my gosh, it just brings us right back to that time.
Unbelievable. Shannon, I know it's late where you live, but I'm doing a cheers to 24 years.
I've got some hot tea. That'll work. Coming in hot, baby.
Holy cow. Dominique Moceanu, 14 years old. Look how tiny she is on those bars.
And she ended up being the tallest of all of us. This was the event, though. I mean, we started off with a bang, and I heard you talking about how JC had missed so many of her routines, all of her routines and warm-ups, and then came out swinging. It was really amazing, and I don't know about you. Well, you weren't competing this first event. I was solely focused on my routine, so I didn't see a lot of the actual routines, but I mean, look at Moceanu. I mean, she's just amazing. I mean, perfect form. She's going to nail this dismount. Boom. Oh, and holding on to it.
I think what's so amazing, I always say about our team, is she just did a double layout, full out. I mean, the skills that you guys did, not me personally, but some of the
you had some skills
you guys did were insane. I am always amazed at the level of difficulty. And then I don't know if people notice, but we didn't land on sting mats, 4-inchers or 8-inchers. She did a double layout, full out onto a landing mat. That's crazy.
I know. You know, you think about the mats that we used to land on, the actual 4-inch on top of the podium, and that was it. Ouch. Ouch. What I wouldn't give to vault on the vaulting horse that they have now, the vaulting table. I still have to vault the horse.
Vault was my weakest. I would have been way better with that vault. Don't you
well, hello. Yeah, we won't talk about vault. But, well, during the commercial break, I know that you and I apologize, I didn't get to really kind of intro everything and intro you. For everyone out there, I mean, I know you guys are on Amanda Borden's, you know who she is, but Amanda's amazing, and I'm so excited to be doing this with you because you really are, I mean, you are just our captain in every way, not just for this event. And I love how we ended up choosing you. And I remember sitting, for those of you that don't know, we didn't stay at the Olympic Village during the 1996 Olympics. We stayed in a fraternity house on the campus of Emory University. And so we were all together. And we were up in that kind of rec room, that recreational room, and we were all sitting on the floor and filling out these little papers, and we had to fill out who we wanted to be our team captain and who we wanted to be the flag bearer, potential flag bearer. And so we all wrote down, and it was unanimous. It was Amanda Borden. I mean, you are.
I did you.
Thank you. But you really are the epitome of a team leader, and you were just the person that kind of held it all together for it. You were the glue. You're the glue. But really, you were that positive attitude. And, you know, when someone's going through a rough day or have second thoughts right before we walk out into the arena, like Dominique does, who, you know, you were able to kind of coach her through that moment. And that takes a special person to be able to do that. So thank you. Thank you for being our captain.
Let me tell you, I felt honored to be a part of that team. I mean, there were 3 of you that were on the 92 Olympic team, yourself, Dominique Dawes, Carrie Strug, and you had Moceanu that was the youngest U.S. champion. You had Amy Chow that had tricks galore. And
crazy tricks.
You know, yeah. All of us had been at world championships. My personal teammate, JC Phelps, I say all the time, I wouldn't have made it to the Olympics without her. And, you know, it was just kind of the perfect mesh of personalities. And I always say as team captain, my job was very easy because in my opinion, you guys were unbelievable athletes and it made it really fun.
Well, you're amazing and you're still amazing and you're still always our team captain. And, you know, it's fun to look back at these moments, but I also love kind of where we are today. And, and we're back at it. And we were just talking about Amy Chow, the trickster. She was crazy with the skills, and this bar routine is real.
I know. I think our TVs are slightly off because
They could
she
be.
sent all of her release moves, and
Oh no!
on my
Okay.
TV, she's getting ready.
Oh, there you go. Oh, we'll see in my routine, she's just doing releases right now. So it is absolutely amazing the skills she does. And of course, she went on to win the silver medal in this event, in the event finals. But just incredible. And this was the great rotation. I don't know about you, I love starting with bars because I don't want to start on beam and I don't want to end on beam. I want it kind of meshed in the middle. um, yeah. Yeah, no, it was interesting. I don't remember thinking a lot about winning gold at the time. I don't remember feeling the pressure of we have to win gold. Here's Russia, of course, and I'm a little bit after yours, but Russia, of course, starting on vault, Olympic order. I can hear you. I don't know if anyone else can. Can you hear me? Oh my gosh. Okay, well see, I'm a little time delayed. So there I am. Oh my gosh. Gotta love that. So I just did my hop full on my screen, hop full ginger. 91 worlds. Aw. Yeah. I guarantee you, someone is going to call me stoic on this broadcast. I have mine muted, but it was my game face. And so focused, and I knew that I could do for the team was to get the highest score I could on each event. Like that was my goal, just get the highest score I can and stay focused. But yeah, I was a numbers gal. I was not ever the most talented, even in my own gym. Not the strongest, not the most flexible. That all came really hard to me, but I could outwork anybody. That was my thing. Okay, if I'm gonna do this, I could just outwork everybody else. Okay. Okay, cool. The first time I'm actually seeing the coverage. I'm not hearing it, but I'm seeing the coverage of other athletes from other countries competing. And I know Amanda's the same way. Oftentimes, we're not looking at the leaderboard. We're not looking at the other athletes competing. I didn't even know what, like where we were placed leading into vault. Now, after I went, I was third up on vault. After I went on vault, I looked up at the leaderboard and figured it out real quick. But I'm getting some of these questions. I love, I can hear you. It's on, guys, it's on, if you're looking for the channel, it's on NBC Sports Network. It should come with like your regular cable package. It's not like an extra thing. Um, we have very basic. So, um, I love all the questions that I've been getting. I've been posting on my Instagram and Twitter accounts, and I'm seeing Dominique Dawes start uneven bars right now on my screen. But it's really amazing to hear and to see what people remember about that time, where they were, what they were doing. So thank you guys for sharing those moments with us. And for all of you that weren't born yet when we were competing, hopefully this is a nice chance for you all to kind of enjoy what happened 24 years ago. Dominique Dawes is on bars on my screen. She's getting ready for her dismount. And Dawes is amazing. We call her Awesome Dawson, of course. And not in Atlanta, but for a lot of world championships, the past 1992 Olympic Games, she was my roommate. And I love Dominique Dawes. She is just an amazing person. She just opened her gym. She is just really an awesome athlete, and she really brought it every time out. And I have such respect for her and her skill and everything that she's doing now. I'm waiting for my kids to go downstairs too. Yep. Okay, yeah, go for it. Oh, it says still can't hear Amanda. Okay, all right, cool.
Just gonna hold it now. All right, I think I'm back on. Those of you joining in right now, can you hear me? Are you guys able to hear me that are signing in?
Yes! We stuck the dismount.
I don't know if it's gonna work, but I don't know if they can hear me. Yep, you're good. Okay, they're saying I can be heard. I came upstairs. I was in our basement, so maybe that was the problem.
See, I don't even have a basement excuse. I'm not sure what for me, it's basically if I am within 2 feet of something, it doesn't work. So,
well, I think there should be some grace given to those that are over 40, Shannon.
I agree.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we're in the Romanian beam rotation right now. I believe, have finished bars. I've been staring at the phone trying to get stuff instead of watching. Oh, Lilia Podkapayev is up right now on my
screen. That's who's up on mine. I'm going to show you who's up on mine. Look at this.
I love Lilia, and we had the opportunity to travel all over the U.S. on tour with her after the games. Amazing tumbling. That is why she is the gold medalist right there.
Yeah, Olympic all-around champion right there.
And beautiful dance. Oh,
I'll never forget going to American Cup with her. And, of course, American Cup used to be in Orlando, Florida. And she bought the biggest Mickey Mouse and all this chocolate and things that all she could talk about was taking it back to her family. She just was so excited, you know, to be a part of that and be able to do that for her family. It was really sweet.
Well, and what I love, and as we watch her finish up floor exercise, one of the things I love is that these athletes, you know, yes, we're competitors on the floor, but we actually become friends outside of competition, and we're still friends today, which is really exciting. A lot of times they come over, they're helping coach, give clinics, doing opening gyms, all of that, and so we actually do get the chance to bond with them and keep up with them. So that's so much fun.
Sorry, I'm trying to reset as we do this live.
Oh my gosh, incredible tumbling. And I love her leotard too. This was like the beginning of sparkles, just like the very beginnings. In fact, where is it? I have something fun. We didn't actually have sparkles on it at the time, but so I'm not wearing it, but this is a team leotard.
Yeah,
and it's so funny because I was thinking I don't remember sparkles on the leotard, And I remember we did it afterwards, I think for either the tour or the gala.
It was the gala.
The gala. Not sure how I got signed up for that one.
Yeah, the Macarena.
The Macarena, yeah. My face showed it all. Thank you very much.
That's what we should really be talking about is the gala.
No, I think we should never talk about it again. Ever. Ever. All right, we're still watching Lilia, which you can't watch her enough.
I would show you Lilia.
I didn't even realize she stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
My
goodness.
goodness.
Is downstairs. I'm not going to go back down there, but maybe in one of the commercials, I can bring up
run down real quick
my memorabilia bin, because I do have quite a bit of stuff that I found in this last week just talking about it. So it's been kind of fun.
Oh my gosh, I did the same thing. A lot of mine has been in storage, and I had to get a few things out. I don't have my white scrunchie. So I was going to try to wear that, but I actually ended up giving it to the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame Museum. And that's supposed to be opening. I think people would rather see the scrunchie. Like, here's the scrunchie in the metal, and then I'll go like have a coffee. But no, it was such a special thing for me. Oh, I see myself warming up on beam, and you could see my scrunchie going around. But there's quite the story behind it, and it's something that my coach Peggy, she gave me. She actually bought it and hand glued all of the stones, the rhinestones, on the scrunchie. And when she gave it to me, it was really because I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in myself, and she wanted me to have something that made me feel special, which is really sweet. And to hear that story now, at the time I didn't realize that's why she was giving it to me, but to hear her talk about it now and how she did crazy things, like the night before the 1992 Olympic trials, I had a tough go of it. I had broken and dislocated my elbow leading up 10 weeks before Olympic trials. And so it was already a difficult thing. I had one shot. It was 100% of my score, whether I made the team or not. And she hand wrote and colored all of these signs that said like Miller time, or you've got this Shannon, or we hurt Shannon. And she put them up all around the arena. And I didn't know it was her at the time. I just thought, oh, I feel really good. Oh, the crowd's behind me. And she had done that just to kind of boost my spirit. So it's just amazing what things coaches do beyond teaching a cartwheel. And you do that. You do that for your athletes every single day at your gyms. So absolutely. It's really special.
I think of stories, I've seen questions coming in, and somebody asked if we still talk to Amy Chow. We actually talk to everybody. I think that's something really unique about our team is we wish everybody happy birthday on their birthday. Shannon, you had one in March. Mine's coming in May, and so is Amy's. Holidays, we've stayed in touch, seeing our kids and things like that. But I think our coaches, had a huge role. I remember an amazing story. My first World Championships, 1993, was you, Carrie Strug, and Dominique Dawes. I mean, all three 92 Olympians, and then here I am, first time on the scene, and I'm like, what did I get into? And it was right around Easter, and we were in England, Birmingham, England, and my coach actually Mary Lee Tracy made me an Easter basket and had it at my door.
I remember that.
Ran. And it had Cadbury eggs and all this English candy. And I remember Dominique Dawes, who's my roommate, was like, oh, I'm so jealous. And I'm like, my coach does this stuff for me all the time. I don't know. So, our coaches obviously didn't get an Olympic gold medal like we did, but they played such a huge role in, our experiences and getting us there. It's like, I wish we could give them a gold medal too.
Well, and that's the thing. You don't stand up there, whether it's a team competition, an individual, you don't stand up there alone. You have an entire team of people that have been working for years to help you get there. Coaches, your parents, the people patching you up and getting you back out on the floor, your community. And I know for me, like even my teachers, my education, they were able to kind of help me to make sure that I stayed up with my grades and graduated on time, but at the same time was able I was able to kind of chase this Olympic dream. So it's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
All right, Amy Talonby. I know we're going to start talking, getting down memory lane, and forget the competition.
I know.
They're showing Amy, of course, falling at Olympic trials. I didn't compete at Olympic trials. They took me and Dominic Motiana. They took our scores from nationals because we were both injured, and it was kind of one of those. Instead of competing 2 competitions and then the Olympics, just compete one. Put your eggs in one basket. I was kind of did that my first Olympics too, but that was a tough beam routine for Amy. But I mean, she didn't miss a beat. No. She just went back next event, and it was amazing. Amanda,
Shannon, I'm starting, and everybody wants to know what I'm saying.
Yes,
here it comes. Easy run, feet in front, over the top. You got this. That's what I said before I started this routine. Everybody wants to know. Everybody asks me what I'm saying.
I asked you this before, but how difficult is it to choose? I mean, you had to essentially start on beam. That was essentially your first event. So you had to kind of go in cold. It's hard to wait an entire rotation and then all of a sudden it's go time.
Well, especially for us, we always competed all around, right? I mean, even to qualify to the Olympics, we competed all around. And this was the first, real big meet that I didn't do all 4 events. And, but I think as I watched bars, I felt like I was competing because I was so into every single routine, but it didn't feel like I had waited around much. My heart was beating and I was pounding. And honestly, to be first up on beam was perfect for me because I warmed up and I stayed like right in my moment. And I remember this routine just felt like so detailed, so perfect. I don't know that I'd ever done a routine that felt so good to me. And I remember at this point in the routine, as I was getting back up and all I had left was the dismount, as I said, like, did I forget something? Because that like went so fast. And, taking a deep breath because this dismount, I wasn't the most powerful gymnast. I needed all type of power right here to get this double tuck to my feet. And I slammed my legs right here. Watch, I clapped my legs and I just wanted to start jumping because I did it.
I'm so bummed. I've got like a slight delay. So you're about to do your dismount for me. But this was amazing to have someone lead off on balance beam and just nail a set. There is nothing more reassuring than that because at this point you knew you could drop a score, and to go out and just routine after routine after routine, it was like, okay, we're on. It starts to, I wouldn't say take the pressure off, but it does maybe ease it a little bit.
Well, and I think the momentum we had on bars and going so strong top to bottom, even after a rocky warm up, really just energized this rotation, which was really important, obviously, starting. And, everybody asked me my score. There it is. I can't remember my scores from the Olympics. I tell everybody, I don't know the score, but to me, it felt like it was the best routine I'd ever done in my life. So
I had someone come up to me, and I think we were on tour. So some of you were around. We were walking through the airport, and I think it was the Atlanta airport, and someone came up and said, "Oh, are you guys the Olympic team?" And said, "Are you Shannon Miller?" And quiet little me at the time. I've gotten less quiet. But said, "Oh, well, if you're really Shannon Miller, what was your score on balance beam?" I'm like, no idea.
By JC Phelps. Okay, you guys all did these skills. Backhand spring, 3 layouts. 3 layouts, 4 skills on that balance beam. That's insane.
JC is amazing. I don't know how she fit hers in. She's a little bit taller than me, and she was right at the edge of that beam, 16 feet. Like, that's all you get, and you better nail it every single time. It's funny, I only remember, pardon?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I only remember small snippets of like maybe when I glanced up and saw something.
Because you were at the back part of the lineup. I got to watch all of you guys because I was at the front part.
I was busy doing drills nonstop on the sideline. I keep forgetting to look down at everyone's questions. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Why did you guys do 4 skill series? No, it was just, to up your difficulty. It wasn't required.
Well, we are allowed to do 3 of the same skill. Whoa, I didn't realize she was so crooked on that dismount. What a great save.
It's killing me not being on the same page as yours.
No, I don't know why our TVs aren't. I'm trying to get my camera straightened out here. Sorry, guys.
Wow, she was really crooked. She was like a foot from the edge of the mat. Good gracious.
Oh,
The good thing is, you know, when you're competing, you have to know your angles, because you have to know a podium angle for the judges and a regular angle for the judges, because that could make the difference between gold and silver. Like that makes the difference between a 10th or not, because of how the judge is viewing. They can't necessarily see if you're offline in some ways, but they might be able to see other areas. So you think through every angle, and then how you save a skill. Like I can go through my beam routine, I can tell you at least 4 areas that I had checks that the judges probably didn't even see, but I know that they're there, and you just kind of learn to cover.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if I can pause my video just a little bit so we can get on the same page. You can't fast forward, right?
No, I can't fast forward. I'm already forward. But all of you guys that are watching, they're going to be a little bit off too. So,
so you're probably.
What do we think of the people? What do we think of the current judging system? I think it's complicated. I feel like I'm getting used to it, but I would say the more, I'm not going to say older, the more seasoned person, I miss that idea of the perfect 10, of trying to reach perfection. But everything has to evolve. So there's the pros and the cons to both, and we could spend 2 hours just discussing that. But I'm also a big believer. I'm also a big believer, and this is something one of my coaches taught me, Peggy taught me, is, you know, give me the rules and I'll play the game. And so just, doesn't really matter what the rules are, just give them to me and I'll figure out how to play the game. And that, I think, is really good for a sport like ours that is so subjective. You have to kind of give it your best and know that, hey, at the end of the day, it is subjective. And sometimes you end on one side of that and sometimes you end on the other, and we've all been on both sides. So
absolutely,
it is what it is.
I think as you get older in life, you have a different appreciation for, you know, just the opportunity. I think you made a really good point, though. You know, in our generation, I'll never forget when we went to a training camp in Greensboro, Mary Lou Retton came and talked to us. And I remember in 1984 watching her in the Olympics, and that was like the whole reason I started gymnastics. It looked so amazing and fun. And the biggest advice she gave us was, you know, don't listen. You know, we didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. So essentially we weren't listening to the TV or the newspaper. And, you know, we just kind of stayed focused on us and what we could, you know, what we could control. And I think that really worked in our favor, because we just brought our own strengths, you know, to the competition, and we made the most of it and just kind of enjoyed the experience. And I know that sounds crazy, but you keep saying, you know, we didn't notice other things happening, but we really didn't. We were just into what we were doing, and get up, do your best routine, next person, get up, do your best routine, so on, you know? So,
which is why we're happy to learn Instagram right now. Okay, yeah. So Mary Lou Retton was your first Olympic moment, or one of them? That was my first Olympic moment.
Wow.
The 1980, and of course I was 3 at the time, but my parents had saved it on VHS, and I watched that over and over. Oh, and I know that Carrie's on Beam now, though. So
holy cow! Look at that series. Flick lay, flick lay.
Did you pause yours or no?
What's that?
Did you pause yours or no?
No, you want me to pause though? I can't.
Yeah, try to pause it.
Tell me when she's done this series.
She just finished her series on mine.
Okay, I'm gonna wait.
Where did you pause?
I think she's getting ready to do like a jump.
Okay. Okay, so she's doing her front flip, tiny wobble. Not a big deal.
Okay, she's doing jumps on my screen to the back handspring quarter.
All right, she's about to do jumps. She's about to jump. Straddle jump and back handspring quarter.
Okay, I'm gonna wait 3, 2. Now she's doing her planche.
Planche, yep.
Okay, we're about on now. We got it.
Okay, we're closer.
Hey, I may not be able to do Instagram
Look at us
Live,
go.
but I know how to pause my TV.
You know, you said we didn't, you know, we had TV and newspapers. We had 3 channels on TV and a newspaper. So
It was in color though, if you're worried.
It was in color. All right. Oh, and I love how every single one of us, you know, we're just holding on to those dismounts for all it's worth. You know, we're going to do it. We're going to keep our feet planted. We're not going to give up a tenth.
Coaches, everybody on the sidelines there. You know, I think a lot of people don't know you could only have 2 American coaches. So you see Bella Caroli, your personal coaches, Steve Nuno, you know, and Peggy Lynn.
They had to be over the barricade.
The backside of those barriers. That's a big deal. You know, for me, Mary Lee Tracy was my coach, and she was the assistant coach. So she was on the floor with me. How hard was it to be at an Olympic Games without your coach on the floor?
It was hard. It's difficult. I mean, I'd been in that position plenty of times, but it's challenging because you don't have the normal spotter. Like I remember Mary Lee trying to spot me on a double layout and completely whiffed me in a workout, landed on my face.
I remember that. We worked out at Tucker Gymnastics, and I was like, Mary Lee.
And she just was, you know.
Shannon, are you okay? Like, get up.
There go my ankles and my face. But you know, she's getting used to me and I'm getting used to her. And so it is what it is. But it is different to try to have someone else setting your board. I mean, I remember in my first international competition, I was in Puerto Rico. At that time, your coach didn't even get to travel with you. We had to personally raise money to buy a plane ticket for Steve to go over there, just to even sit in the audience, much less be on the floor. And the coach, that was the head coach, set my board wrong. And I'm at the end of the runway. They've already gone green flag. I've got 30 seconds to go, and I know my board set wrong, which is a big safety issue. And I remember looking up into the crowd, and it's like I locked eyes with Steve, and it's whatever my face looked like, he knew immediately something was wrong. And I remember he ran down, shouted to the coach ran up, fixed the board, and I ran down the runway. I mean, it was all, but you and your coach have this way of talking without talking, and especially if you've been with them for a really long time, that connection is so important. So I mean, most of the time I was looking at my coaches over the railing anyway. It wasn't as if I suddenly changed coaches. It was just a little more distance to get to them.
Well, that was one of the questions. Somebody said, like, how do you calm your nerves? And I think, you know, at this point in our gymnastics, we had figured out how to do that for ourselves. I was the same way. My coach was on the floor at this competition, but pretty much every other world championship, she wasn't. And I would find her in the stands, lock eyes with her. I'd shake my head. She'd shake her head. We keep shaking heads like,
yeah.
Okay, you got this. I got this. You got this. I got this. And, you know, I think by the time you're 19, you kind of figure out how to calm your nerves and kind of get in that zone. So,
yeah. Okay, Dawes is up on beam, and I have never seen this beam routine.
Well,
so
and
I'm really excited.
Was going on during that last floor routine, and the crowd went wild, and that was big controversy. Is that this crowd? If you were in the stands,
it was loud.
First of all, thank you to us, right? They went wild. They were quiet when we competed, and when our feet hit the floor, the place was like wild.
I've never heard anything that loud. I mean, it was incredible. One of the things I always did, though, was I would pretend that the audience was cheering for me, even if it was completely for a different event, especially on floor when I needed that adrenaline rush. People would clap for someone that just got off beam or bars or something. I'm like, oh, all right, they're clapping for me. Let's go. I got this. But you have to kind of
watching. We're in the stands, Shannon. Everybody's commenting. We're in the stands in Atlanta. Oh my gosh! Thank you for joining us. This is amazing.
That is amazing. I love traveling around. I have the wonderful opportunity to travel all over the U.S. Still to this day, I get people every single time I go out to speak, every single time I'm at an event, somebody in the audience, at least one person was there in the arena that night. And it's so fun to hear kind of their memories of that time.
Yeah, watch this dismount. Remember this?
Oh, full twist and double back. Yeah, I remember that.
Full in. You guys did full ins off the balance beam in 1996.
And 92.
Well, yeah, 92, but
way back. You think if I did it for 5 years, I could get it right? Hopefully.
Hey, Olympic gold medalist.
Oh, I love.
Balance beam Olympic gold medalist, and you're up next.
Oh, I got one.
Oh, look at this routine. I mean, Shannon, every single skill in this routine is like iconic, right? Your mount.
Oh, it just, I still, like, I'm shaking. I get so nervous even to this day, and I kind of know how it ends, but it just,
Watch right here. You're
it's so
amazing back
nerve-wracking.
extension rolls.
Those were my favorite skills. They were different, they were unique, they just, but, and they weren't that difficult. little secret, but I loved those.
Well, many people would not know that we trained at a gym, Tucker, Arizona. I'm sorry, Arizona. Tucker, Atlanta. And I watched you do at least 20 beam routines, I think, a day in training for the entire time we were there, which clearly has
Because we had to do compulsories and optionals. So
being an Olympic gold medalist on this event. But, you know, I think sometimes people forget, like, this was such a big moment for our team. But you had to come back after all of this, regroup, continue to train to come back for beam finals. How hard was that?
it was interesting because you put so much into team. Team is, oh, full twisting all that. Oh, okay.
And I watched
team is
10 to 20 of those a day too. I couldn't believe it.
I can't believe I did 10 to 20 of those a day. Jeez. But I think I'm coming off of team, because that is where you put all of your energy. That's the focus, because that's the big moment. And then after that, I remember getting down off the floor and after the podium, the medal ceremony and everything, and Steve giving me a big bear hug, and he took me by the shoulders and he looked at me and he said, okay, get focused. You've got 3 more competitions to go. And it was kind of, oh, you're right. Okay. All right. And we were up until at least.
I was done. Sorry.
Well, we had to go do all the media. We were up until 2 a.m. And you know me, I sleep nonstop. So I don't see 2 a.m. hardly ever. So we were up, and then I went to training the next day. And then 2 days later, I think it was 2 days later, was the all around competition. And we know that didn't go as well as I would have liked. And then vault, which went even worse. And yeah. And then balance beam. So then that was kind of my last event. And, you know, to kind of have that roller coaster ride, it does take a lot. But I think, like you said, over the years, you learn. You learn that you're going to fail, you're going to make mistakes, and it's how you get back up that matters the most. And so it's just kind of, I think, taking everything in stride. And I think one of the things that helped me the most was just the understanding that as big as this moment is, as amazing as it is to win an Olympic gold medal for your country, to do that on home soil, at the end of the day, gymnastics wasn't life. Life is life. And my parents were still going to love me, and I was still going to go back to school. And a lot of things did not hinge on what my score was. And I think that helped ease the pressure. I wanted to do well, but I remember my mom saying, look, you've done the work, go out and you need to enjoy it. And that's something Steve always did. We never talked about a gold medal. We never talked about scores. He just would say to me every time before I walked out to go compete, you've done the work, now go out and have some fun. And I just had to kind of keep reminding myself of that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think we were very fortunate to, have coaches and parents that reminded us, like, we did gymnastics because we loved it. But we're still on a commercial, Shannon. Do you by chance have your medals by your side? I only want one.
I
do.
do.
Beam, but I mean, show them off.
Like,
these are just hanging around.
Okay, let me get okay, you can't really tell, but the Atlanta games are cool because they actually inscribed women's team on the end,
so
and then you've got.
We remember which one's which, but I only have one.
Well, in the Barcelona ones are all the same. So basketball is the same as gymnastics, is the same as anything else. And these were really interesting. They also have, of course, Atlanta on the back, but they also have a picture of what you're doing, your event. So artistic gymnastics, we have our gymnast. So that was really cool. And then, of course, here's balance beam. Looks the same, except there. Oh, we're back on beam with Mochiano. I loved her mount. I could never do it, but I loved it.
Unbelievable. Shannon, I've seen people commenting about your score was low. You know, when I looked back through, I think one thing we laughed about when we talked about doing this was we don't remember our own scores, but then you watch these routines and you're like, 9-8, what was wrong with it? You know? So I agree. I think the judging was a little tough, but to be honest with you, I'm not even sure I remember the rules. We just did our routines, whatever our coaches told us to do. But
I just, you know,
it was good
as
enough
long
to
as my
win.
start, yeah, and I think for me, as long as my start value is there, you can only control what you can control. So go out, try to keep as many points as you can, and then after that, it's really out of your hands. So move on to the next event. But yeah, to your point, I'm not sure I remember exactly all of the rules, and I didn't pay attention to the scoring at the time. But one thing looking back that amazes me the most is, you know, we won this competition. Spoiler alert, we won. Sorry, but you know, to win by around 8 tenths of a point, 8/10 of a point, and then you have the last games where they're winning by 8 points. It's just incredible how close the competition was. Mochiano nailing a dismount.
Perfect dismount. 14 years old. That's insane. Look at our coaches on the sidelines. I mean, I think, you know, so many people, like the energy. Look at all the fans, everybody, you know, it felt like everybody was rooting for USA. Just, it was such a like fast paced, high energy competition.
You know what? And I meant to mention that earlier, fast paced. Some competitions, they feel like they drag on forever and you fight to stay warm in between events. I feel like this was lightning speed, and probably because it was on prime time, so they had to keep it going. But it was amazing how fast everything went. And I don't know if you talked about it at the start of the competition, but lining up behind the curtain as we began to walk out and just hearing the crowd chanting USA, and as you walked through the curtain and you've got, you know, 30, 40,000 people screaming and chanting USA and flashbulbs going off, it was the most surreal, most amazing thing to be a part of. It was incredible. So thank you all. For everyone who was cheering, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, that's a question I think we've gotten in the last, you know, 24 years is, you know, were you disappointed the Olympics was in your country? And I'm like, number one, our families got to be there, at least my family, because they didn't get to travel internationally with me. And, you know, to have so many fans, I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, here goes.
She's so gorgeous to watch. She is absolutely amazing on uneven bars. What a beautiful gymnast. And I love what she did with gymnastics as far as proving that there is really no specific body type.
She looks 6 feet tall, but she's only like 5'3" or 5'4".
Which is still, you know, 5'4" is pretty tall for a gymnast, but it does. I mean, physics matters, so it's hard to.
She wore no grips, which is
no
incredible.
grips. Yeah, well, in a lot of international gymnasts, so you had to be careful, because if you went up after them, they used a completely different recipe on bars than we did with grips. I learned that one the hard way at a championships. But yeah, I mean, and I loved watching the other athletes, usually not during the competition, but I loved watching them for technique.
I didn't realize that we were in the lead after 2 events. I thought we got the lead after 3 events. So
no clue. I did not look at the leaderboard until after. I think I was 3rd on vault, and after that, I looked at the leaderboard.
I looked at the leaderboard when you guys were warming up vault, because I did not compete vault. So that was I looked up and I'm like, oh, their floor score must be not in yet, or their bar score must not be in yet. We must still be in 2nd or 3rd. I really did not think we were leading the competition. But that was still the last event that I even looked at it to even know. So Shannon,
yes,
I've seen other athletes do this. They've had their leotards out. You already showed your leotard. Mine's downstairs in a frame. But what about this silky jacket?
Nice.
Do you have that anywhere?
I have it. It's in storage. right now. So, you know, with the whole quarantine, I couldn't go get it. But, yep, there's the jacket.
I mean, talk about 1990s. Straight
Tracksuit,
up
baby.
silky jacket.
Yeah, and you know what's really funny is that they really had not figured out gymnast sizes yet. 92, 96, everything was just still huge. Like my jacket's still huge on me to this day. But like now they're more fitted, where at the time they were just kind of like big uniforms.
I know.
So that's funny.
Stuff we got. Our shorts
Nope.
are down past our knees.
Okay, hold on. I've got a good one for you. Do you remember this?
Not the journal.
The journal.
The journal. I couldn't find my journal.
The journal. Okay, nobody gets to read that.
Oh,
No,
that
it's funny.
great.
I found
all
Mary
kinds
Lee.
of fun things. Hold on, let me get my box. It was downstairs.
Amanda's coach, Mary Lee, made these for us. They've got like stickers all, and I'm not much for journaling. So mine has about 3 pages filled out, and then I kind of gave up. But the 3 pages are pretty funny. I was going to donate it to the museum. I'm like, no, maybe not. That was a really tough workout today. I laid it on my face today. So I'm sure you guys had better writing in yours, and maybe it's legible, whereas mine is not so much. All right, what do you have next?
Well, I couldn't find my journal, but I'm just reading some comments, and I've seen some hair comments. So I'm just going to get it out there. It
Come
was
on.
the 90s, guys.
Bangs.
My short haircut was really cool. Shannon brought up, we all had I didn't have the claw bangs because I had the short hairdo. The big scrunchies, the bangs.
You gotta have
If
it.
you're young, you don't get it. But if you were in the 90s, give us a thumbs up on the cool haircuts. I mean, help us out with it. Because everybody, including my own 3 kids, make fun of my hairdo in the 90s.
And no makeup. I mean, we didn't wear makeup. But what's makeup? I'm going to start it off anyway.
I have one of the originals in a box.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
So
That's
cool.
awesome.
That was a really cool experience to be a part of that commercial.
Yes.
And, I remember Terry written on that box. So, oh my goodness, here we go on the floor.
Here's Jace. First up.
This music from the Cutting Edge, I listen to it every day. And watch this first pass.
Gosh,
Double
I love
front.
the Cutting Edge. Woo! And guys, for anyone out there that wasn't born yet when we competed, we were allowed to have a step. I get that comment a lot. Oh, well, why didn't you stick your landing? We were allowed to have a step, so we took it. This is fantastic. I love it.
I think what's so unique about this event is if you listen, I mean, and look at the fans. Everybody's eyes are glued to floor right now as Team USA is here.
I love how many people have their Wheaties boxes. That's fantastic. Oh, the controlled lunge. That's right. It's not a step. It's a controlled lunge. Very good.
Well,
you guys get it.
I'm going to brag about you guys because, I mean, I watch. Oh, don't mind my dog. He's barking in the background. He's almost.
Well,
like
mine's
2 years
asleep,
old.
but if he sees a cat, we're done.
But I'm going to brag about you guys because I should count on my hands, and we'll count right now. How many of you guys end your final pass is a full in, right? Look at this. JC let it off.
She had some height.
I believe Strug and Mochiano did, and I can't remember. Chow was a great twister, so we'll have to count how many. That's the first one. Last pass, full in. Incredible.
I tell you what, and folks like Simone make it look like a walk in the park. Meanwhile, I'm sucking wind and my legs are jello, and I'm not sure if I can take
it was clearly harder in the 90s, Shannon. It was harder.
Clearly. I know. The air was different. Something. I was weaker, and yeah. But it was tough. I mean, you get to that last pass.
It went by so fast. The comments went by. It was JC, Miller, Strug, and Mochiano. 4 passes. Oh, and Dawes maybe ended with a full in. Incredible. You guys are amazing.
I'm trying to scroll through these things.
Can you go back and look at the questions?
Yeah, you can scroll. Oh, I love that the comments because you guys know my dog Rudy. He's probably got more followers than I do.
That's my dog Kobe barking. He falls down and can't get up.
Here you go. Here you go. We're up. It's game time.
Oh. First
I love
pass,
this
guys.
routine.
We're talking about it.
I love this routine. I could never dance like that because I wouldn't move my hips. So
Double Arabian. They're all talking about this was a difficult pass for me, but
this was a crazy pass. The whole forward landing is just beyond me. I
know,
did
but
not
you know,
like
it was
landing
my
forward.
thing, Shannon. I like to land that way, I decided.
Yeah, well, it worked for you. Look at the piano.
All the cloud clapping, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Got press row, all that green, that's press row. That's where all the commentators sit.
All the media.
Oh, I love this. Do you have your sound on?
I do.
Are you gonna start crying?
Sorry.
I have tissues. Here.
I know I should have brought them.
Here.
You know, I think if I could do one routine again, though, as much as I love my floor routine, I would do that Olympic beam routine one more time. Just that feeling of hitting every single skill, no wobble, all the way to that dismount was like the best feeling. There it is. That famous haircut.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's awesome, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
And for me, that was the end of my Olympics, right? I only competed on beam and floor. And for those last events, I mean, those hugs from my coach are some of the greatest memories I have. To know I had, you know, worked that hard and then, you know, accomplished it. And there's JC, my personal teammate, like my sister. Oh, while we're on the floor, Russia. This is where, you know, I was trying to figure out, Shannon, where, you know, Romania and Russia were expected to beat us. Yeah. And where they made the mistakes. And we didn't know because we weren't paying attention.
This was crazy. You know, before Mochiano goes, you know, I just want to say, you talk about how you only did 2 events, but you rocked 2 events. And that's so important. And that's one of the things about our team is that it was a team at every aspect. I mean, everyone had their part. You had us old fogies, the 3 that had competed in 92, but then you had the new blood that came in. You have the youngster with Mochiano, and you came in with such positive attitude and team spirit and consistency, because that's what you need in a team atmosphere. You can have all the skills you want, but if you don't hit them, it doesn't matter. So to have that consistency, and Amy Chow, who not only was consistent, but had the big skills. I mean, it was every person on that team really did their job and made it happen. And I think that's one of the things that makes this team so special. Absolutely. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah. Well, I remember when we opened our gym in 2004, you guys all came out for our grand opening. And I remember saying to somebody that, you know, our nickname was the Meg 7, but, you know, you guys, when I look at everything everybody's accomplished now, I think you guys are more magnificent now than you were 24 years ago. And I think what made that team so special is we all came from all different places and had all different backgrounds and experiences. And like the only thing we were focused on was be our best, be a team. And I just think that's really unique. And I don't know that anybody really pushed that on us. It just was a natural thing. And I tell everybody, you know, we had competed on world championships together. I had been at Pan Am Games with different athletes. All 7 of us had been together at some point, but never had all 7 of us been a team until 96. And I think that's what made it so magical was just all the unique elements of our team. And of course the ending, which is coming after this event, was
you don't go away now.
Ending. But it just, you know, definitely was a magical thing.
It's interesting, and you talked like you came on the scene in 96, but I remember you in 1991. We were competing in Indianapolis. It was my first world championships. I think I was 14 at the time, and I remember you were doing the testing for the new compulsory routines that we would all learn the next year for 1996.
Yes,
and there you were.
I demonstrated what
Yeah.
everybody was going to be doing. Yes. Oh my god!
I remember
Even
that.
We're only there too, though. Clearly, those are my best events.
Hey, whatever works, right? Oh my goodness. I love these comments.
9762 for all those people that asked me what my score was. 9762. There it was.
Now write it down so you can remember it.
I know.
I actually had to write down my beam score so I could start remembering when people asked. Oh, here's Moch on floor.
Devil went down to Georgia. This music is so fun. If you have your TVs on, blare it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, pipe full in.
Right back. You know, front tumbling was not a big deal. Like, it just came about right before maybe, I don't know, 94, 95. And so those front tumbling passes had high value. So we did a couple of them, you know, throughout the routine because it helped us out.
Well, it is a big deal to do 4 tumbling passes. You know, between 92 and 96, it was like all of a sudden 3 wasn't good enough. If you have 4 now, it's a really big deal. Because there's, you know, 4 or 5, sometimes 6 these days. But but it was all I could do to get through 4, with one of them being front tumbling.
Look at that control.
Incredible. This is such a fun routine.
So bouncy and powerful. Just amazed me. I mean, I had to work so hard at being quick twitch. You know, that was not my thing. Compulsories is my thing. Good form, good technique, and that was like,
I loved compulsories. I mean, I don't love training them, but I loved compulsories.
Well, because it was exactly, you knew exactly how you could get to perfection. And I think that is a feeling I miss every day.
2.5.
2.5 twist.
So cute.
I see so many of you commenting that you loved compulsories too. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
The good old days. That's what we call it. Yeah, Dominique, unbelievable, right? Look at, I have to bend down. Look, I look like a giant. I was 5'3.5" in the Olympics. I look like a giant next to her. I'm a whopping 5'4" now.
How long did we train compulsories? Compulsories was actually 60% of our score. And you trained those a good deal. So when we talk about training for 6 or 7 hours a day, a lot of that was compulsories because you had to get it right. You had to be flexible in a certain way. You didn't get a lot of leeway with how you did the skills and performed. So yeah, you worked really hard on those.
Yeah. You know, I think back in the 90s, you know, you have to remember we did a lot of double workouts. We went to, you know, work out before school. Oh no, this is where Russia fell apart. Fell on beam as Mociano just killed a floor routine.
Oof, beam, most feared event.
Yeah. But we trained twice a day and we had 8 routines to try to perfect. And, you know, we didn't know any different, so it didn't seem overwhelming to us, but we just did it. Yeah.
I'm just reading some of these comments. Oh, Dominique Dawes.
Stop and watch this routine. Awesome Dawes. Watch the power here.
And Dominique, she went on to get a bronze medal in this event. Oh my goodness. What I wouldn't give to have a double out like that.
Same pass that you did too.
Yeah, but hers was a lot better than mine.
Hey, I didn't even try it.
24 years later, I'm having second thoughts about whether or not I should have actually done that skill. Might be a little late.
Happens when you become a parent. Look at this is the pass she was known for.
Oh, I love that.
Combinations. I sent a text to, you know, all the girls to make sure they know this was airing. And, you know, Dominique's like, thank you for telling me I have 4 kids. She has 4 kids.
4. And I think they're all under the age of 5.
Yeah.
4 under 5.
Yeah, she's still awesome dawsome. That's what I say.
Now she's awesome momson. No, Dominique is incredible. And we haven't talked much about the tour, but the tour after, we did 99 city tour after the games. And I think that's when we really got to know each other even more. I knew Dawes pretty well because she was my roommate for many years. Look at that. She kept her heel up.
Unbelievable.
From going out of bounds. I mean, talk about knowing where you're at. I bet they'll show a close-up of that.
For sure.
I think she stayed in. That's amazing.
This is so amazing because you don't realize, like, when you're in it, you didn't see it from that perspective, and to be able to watch it and see all those little details.
It's so funny to, and I don't have the commentary on because I wanted to keep it quiet in the background, but to see the video versus having lived it is so very different. And I think sometimes it starts to help you understand the questions that people are asking you throughout the years. You're like, oh, that's why I was being asked that. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I love watching Svetlana Khorkina on balance beam. She has such beautiful lines.
Ugh. And such, I think, unique skills too. You saw that cool mount right into her tumbling series, those full twisting back handsprings.
And I never watched, I really tried not to watch any of my own teammates and competitors because I didn't want, if someone were to fall, you don't want that in your head before you go up to compete. But for some of these Russian athletes, if they are watching their teammates, how hard is it knowing that you're having trouble on beam? I guarantee you, because they showed some of it, that they're looking at the leaderboard. It's got to get into your mind a little bit. I mean, that's specifically why I didn't watch.
Absolutely.
But that's a tough one, especially on beam.
Yeah, I think we're fortunate. We were never put in a position, I guess on compulsories, we had a couple mistakes that, it wasn't our best, which is why we were in second. But we weren't really ever put into that position till this final event, right? When that was the first time we made any major mistakes on the finals. And, I think that's, everybody talks about it. Gymnastics is such a mental event for that reason. One mistake and then it just rattles your brain. But you're up next on floor.
I'm reading some of these comments. Shannon, why exactly did you compete a double out? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I think it's because I trained it for like 6 years and then finally competed it. But no, I think in all reality, it's what I trained. And I was not an athlete that enjoyed change. I did not like to switch at the last minute. As Amanda said, I trained numbers. And so it was, this is what I've trained, this is what I'm going to do. If I would have made a last minute change to a piked full in that I hadn't trained at all, because it wasn't in my routine, I think that could have been even worse. So, it is what it is.
I have my sound on just a little bit so I can hear the music.
Oh, yeah.
But your fight, your drive, like that is just describes you to the bitter end. You would not put those hands down. Even if you would have landed face first, your hands would have been up.
Hands would have been up. At least it ended, and I finished it up well.
I remember
right? It's only how you finish.
My first world championships with you, 1993. I already mentioned it. But my coach, Mary Lee Tracy, said, just when you're watching Shannon, watch her fingers, watch her details. And, I think one thing that my coach really instilled in me was, don't be intimidated by athletes, but instead look at them and see what makes them excellent and great. And then try to see what you can bring to your own gymnastics. And your level of detail and precision for perfection was like something I was in awe of my entire gymnastics career from the first time I met you.
Aw. Well, I'm love
in the background right here. Watch. I am cheering.
I know. I saw
this
earlier.
earlier in your post.
Look at you clapping for me. Thank you.
I was so into making sure this team could do it.
And there's Chase. I loved this routine.
Oh, famous ending right here.
I will detail something to death. That's kind of my thing, for better or worse. But I loved dance. You can see me putting bobby pins back in my hair because I would lose like 30 of them on the floor while I'm doing the routine. So sorry for all of those that stepped on them during their routine. They were just flying out everywhere. I would usually start the competition with about 50 in there, which is kind of heavy. But by the end, I'd have like 10 or 12.
Yeah. The hair. I mean, we talked about that earlier. We had quite the hairdos.
Rudy. My dog sees something, probably his reflection in the door. The hair was very utilitarian. It was, how can I do this so that it has to be perfectly down the middle, because it can't be off center. Everything has to be perfectly balanced. And then what will I not grab on my neck extensionals? So that was kind of the deal.
That brings me to a point, though. We were suite mates at the Olympics. JC and I had one room.
You're going to bring this up again.
With you. And so we periodically check on each other to see if you're going to shower. And JC and I had our room. I think the temperature was set minimum or maximum 70 degrees. And I would come over to your room, and it was like going from the North Pole to the desert. Your room was like 90 degrees.
Coming in hot, baby.
I think
I am not a cold
your room
weather
is so hot I can't breathe. But are you going to shower, or can I shower?
I know. Well, we had to trade off showering schedules. It's funny, in our gym, we didn't have, I grew up and trained in Oklahoma, where you have 115 degrees in the summer, and we didn't have air conditioning in our gym for a really long time. So you got used to, you'd finish a couple hours of training, you wring your leotard out, and you get a new one on and keep training. And that's just the way. So I was just used to the heat. I'm still, to this day, my husband and I, we fight over the thermostat because I don't like to be cold. I'm in Florida and I've got jackets on.
Yeah.
But it was so
Arizona.
funny.
I always have my AC going. I like to be cool. I'm in the pool, or I'm in air conditioning. That's kind of my deal. So
I had a lot of things. I liked it warm, and I slept everywhere. So, I would fall asleep during splits in warm-ups. I would be asleep on the bus on the way to workouts. I had
good, which
plenty.
is why I would creep into your room, because I was worried you might be napping. JC and I were not nappers. We like to watch shows or play games or do like crossword puzzles, because we didn't have all these like cool electronic opportunities. But they're doing replays of you. We have to watch.
Oh. Yeah, I think we got like AOL dial-up while we were on the tour. Oh, of course, they're going to play this one again. Thank you very much. That was a rough start.
Would have put their hands down. Not you.
But you can see how ticked I am at myself. This is me steaming. This is me like, seriously, okay, now vault. Okay, just like tape up and get on with it.
Get on with it.
The bangs, gotta love the bangs.
I know, but you know what? Everybody had it, so you guys can make some funny comments out there. But that was cool.
It was cool.
Bangs, short hair, or the wings. Remember the wings?
Got to do the wing. Yeah, the wings weren't smooth enough for me. Like I
saw a question about our daughters. We both have a daughter, and we want our daughters doing gymnastics. I have a 12-year-old. And she is actually a gymnast. I coach her a little bit. And for all of my kids, I think the biggest thing that I hope for is that they find a sport they love as much as I love gymnastics. And for my daughter right now, that is gymnastics. But I just want her to enjoy that journey and, just to love whatever she's doing. And for my boys, I have 2 boys. One does golf and baseball, and the other does baseball and soccer. And I just try to preach love what you do, because you get old like us and you can't do it anymore.
So my daughter's 6, and she was just doing handstands in the house earlier. She doesn't take a lot of gymnastics. She goes 1 time a week because she also does swimming and golf and pretty much everything. She's one of those kids that you have to keep active because her motor doesn't stop running. Oh, Carrie Strug nails a double layout to open. So beautiful. But yeah, so I want the same thing. I want my kids to be introduced to a variety of sports and then be able to figure out what they love and what they're passionate about, whether it's sports, music, art. Just find your passion and then work really hard at it. And it might be more than one thing, and that's okay too.
Yeah, for sure.
This is such a great routine. This is why Carrie anchored floor. I mean, this is it.
Well, I saw somebody just ask if we watched the Olympics, and you know, we actually right after the Olympics ended, you know, the ceremony, and we had all the hubbub and seeing our families, but we actually got to go to Planet Hollywood, and when we got there for dinner, I think we were just starting beam, so we actually got to see the tail end of the competition in the craziness because everything was everywhere. But Shannon and I actually called each other this week because neither of us had actually seen the competition in its entirety with commentating. So this is our first time watching it with everything.
And now I'm going to have to watch it again with the commentary because I can't hear it.
And I'm going to watch it with my kids, you know, because I want to hear their comments. I was worried about what they would say about my hairdo.
That's when you say, it doesn't matter. And then you hold up one of those medals and you say, what about my hair?
Yes.
We have it saying, like, I was on the roof the other day, like trimming trees because this is what you do now. And I was safe, but my kids, you're not allowed to do this. You have to have a gold medal and balance beam if you stand on the counter. You have to have a gold medal and balance beam if you want to get on the roof, kids. So that's my go-to thing.
Yeah. Shannon, I just saw a question about who was rooming with who. I think everybody had their own room at the Olympics except JC and myself, correct?
You know, I honestly don't know. There were 7 of us, and I know I had my own room because I didn't have, Luciano and Carrie, they had the same coach. And then you guys had the same coach. And maybe me and Dominique and Amy had our own rooms. I'm not even sure.
I remember
I didn't venture out a lot.
When we got to, you already mentioned it was a fraternity house. Don't worry, guys. It was cleared out. It was all perfect.
Yeah, so we need to start talking about the competition now. Get off of this. You guys talk a lot about people are talking about the competition.
So apparently this only lasts for an hour, so we had to get off and re-sign back in. I will wait for Shannon to join back in.
They are 6 performances away.
Okay, we knew that was going to happen, and that 1 hour went really fast. But this
It went really fast. Here's Jace.
Ever. JC Phelps. That vault is called the Phelps.
I still can't believe she did it before than me.
Yeah, we
was it
had
93 worlds?
2 vaults, and it was the best score that counted. That's unique.
So she got this named after her during the 1993 World Championships.
Yeah, those forward landings, we talk about them a lot. They're hard to land, but to do that from a half on is really difficult because it takes a tremendous amount of power. Look at Bella on the sidelines, coaching her through how to stick it because we knew that the competition, we didn't know, but our coaches knew it was close, and they knew that our landings were going to matter on this event.
Although I do find it funny that the coaches had to remind us that we're supposed to stick it. Just, you know.
Yeah, I think we remembered. I wasn't vaulting, but I remembered. Wow, that was good.
Good job.
Oh, I remember this. You know, we talk about it. It's been 24 years.
Come here, Rudy.
That's crazy. But at the same time, like, we start to get to this event, and it feels like it was yesterday.
And see, at this point, I still wasn't watching anything. So, I mean, I knew that she had hit, but I had not seen it. The butterflies are starting. I can feel them.
I know.
But I know how it is.
I'm on the sidelines for all of this, and I mean, I was not a great vaulter. I did a handspring pike front, so it didn't even have a 10-0 start value, which is why I was not in the lineup. But my job at this point was to cheer. But these vaults, watch Amy Chow, skinny vault. I'm pretty confident. Yeah, unbelievable. Skinny vault to that Arabian. That's the same vault you did, right?
I think yes.
When we forget our own gymnastics, that's a problem.
I was not the strongest vaulter either, and I had.
Sure.
I think I did a half, and then I did a 1.5.
Like in 92, I remember clearly watching Yurchenko full.
92, I nailed it.
the
Like
Olympics.
92
Flare out.
was a good vault. Flared out.
Sick.
Yeah.
And I thought you got underscored in 92. I'm going to be honest. I watched it in a hotel.
Thank you. I don't remember what my score was. I remember
don't
it was a
either,
big
but-
deal though, because I lost by
By a millipoint.
but that's okay. But that allowed me to come back and train hard for 4 more years for this moment. So it's all good.
Exactly. How about Amy Chow? Trickster
Amy's-
and then goes on to be a pediatrician. Unbelievable. There's the double full.
Double.
I knew she did a double full.
I'm like, nobody was doing that.
Yurchenko
No.
double full off that skinny table.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, she's just.
I bet a
right
lot
back.
of people don't even remember how skinny that vault was.
No.
I mean, it wasn't a table. It was just this long. So it was like a little bit bigger than a balance beam.
Yeah.
It was.
Watch how perfect you have to be in your hand placement right there, and then look at this, wraps in. That's crazy. We did get to land on a sting mat, at least on vaults, because all the other events we did not.
And I don't think I did because I don't remember ever training on a sting mat. So now I'm gonna have to watch and see. Okay, so we have this is probably our last commercial break. Do we have anything else fun? Oh, how funny is this? I've got my swatch from 1996. Do you remember those?
Oh, that's so funny. I just saw mine. You were smart. You kept yours in your box. My the band is broken.
Oh, and I need to find, I mean, I have them, they're in storage, but there are Olympic rings. Like we have, how they have Super Bowl rings. They have an Olympic ring. And so I bet you don't have these. If someone, a lady at one of my events a few months ago brought this along with some other memorabilia.
The Band-Aids.
Band-Aids. Band-Aids. And I've still got a bunch
Give me
left.
those.
Who gave you those?
My dad had them in his stash. What about this, Shannon? From the 20-year reunion.
Oh, okay, hold
the
on.
torch.
Let me see if I can figure out. I don't know how to change my camera around. So I'm not, I'm not going to say, I've got mine on the wall, but it looks just like yours. That was so much fun. We had our reunion in, 4 years ago in 2016, and we all got to meet back at Olympic Park, and we had the whole team together, and they gave us those, the torches. And I've actually ended up with 2 Atlanta torches because one of them I ran beforehand. And it's just, I love the torch. It is one of the most, iconic symbols, certainly, but having had the chance to run it and then be a part of Relive the Dream is what they called it in 2016.
That was
incredible.
honestly one of the most amazing things we'd ever been a part of. Not only did we get together and we got to go back to, see the Georgia Dome before it got torn down, to be together, but I think one of my best memories was watching all of our husbands hang out. That was so fun.
That was really
Everybody
funny.
just
They
had a
got
great
along
time.
a little too well, I think.
I know they started planning trips without us. Is that a problem?
Yeah. Okay, so here's my vault. We'll actually see if I was right about what I competed. Let's see. I'm surprised the scrunchie didn't fly off. Oh yeah, yep.
Wow.
And no sting mat.
That was technically amazing, though. Your position coming off that was insane.
Well, coming from a coach, I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So Steve's given me some last minute pointers. You know, people talk about how Steve constantly coached me, like constantly talked to me right up until I would compete. And that was actually kind of a strategy of his to keep talking so that I wouldn't think too much about what's coming next. I would just think about the skills and the corrections. And so it was something that worked really well for us. I know it doesn't work for everybody, but it worked well for us.
His famous hands up with the mouth.
The mustache and the tracksuit. 9-7. And I'm not looking at the score right then. I'm looking at the board, making sure everything's set, looking for that green light.
Yeah, we had to wait for that green light. We had 30 seconds to start.
1.5.
Oh, wow. Gosh, you forget you guys did 2 different vaults. That's incredible. I barely had 1 vault.
Well, and you had to, you had to compete 2 different vaults to try to qualify for finals, which is a little bit crazy because I also didn't have 2 strong vaults for finals. But, hey, you try, right? You always do the bonus. So now I'm finished, and now I get to watch the last 2 competitors, and this is, I'm 3. I'm sorry, Dawes. So Dawes goes, and then we settle in for the ending. One and a half. Nice. And I tell you what, having the 1 score count was amazing because you landed that first, you put the first one on your feet and it's like, okay, like I got one, safety. Absolutely. And now I can kind of go for broke on the second one. So it was, as an athlete, I liked those rules.
Absolutely. So both of your vaults were forward landings. Mine was a forward landing too. And so it was like the first one, you weren't going for the stick, right? You were just going to land it.
Yeah.
The second one, maybe you could stick it and go for the better score because you knew you had like a safety net.
Yeah. Because the thing is, if you go for the stick, you might end up on your butt. So
right.
You just get it on your feet.
We've never done that before.
Ever.
Unbelievable.
So
Second
much
vault
hate.
Was better.
Oh. And then that feeling of waving to the crowd afterwards, and that's kind of your moment to say thank you to all those people that have spent time and money and effort to be there and cheer for you and cry and yell, and it's just your moment to say thank you. And
that's cool. I think it was cool that even though the coaches couldn't be on the floor, personal coaches, they were right there because you just saw her hug her coach, Kelly Hill. And to just be able to have that moment because the blood, sweat, and tears that you do day in and day out with your coach is like, it's a special moment when you get to celebrate it.
It really is. And while you're kind of separated by a barrier, they're still right there with you. All right, Dominic Moceanu coming up. And we ended with, Dominic Moceanu and Carrie Strug were definitely our strongest vaulters.
For sure.
This is why they anchored.
I think I make a crazy face right here because I'd never seen her do that in my life.
I had never seen her miss one. Ever. Never.
I make a face right here.
It really was surreal. And we were back toward the end of the runway, not all the way at the back, but very close. And with the podium higher, you didn't get a good visual. And they weren't always showing the American athletes on the Jumbotron, so you couldn't just look up all the time. So it was kind of one of those double takes, like, wait, no, she couldn't have fallen. That can't be right. Yeah. It just didn't process because she never fell.
And I watched her do this vault. We both watched her do this vault over and over in practice. I don't think I ever saw her miss one. So
No.
for her to miss that one was like, what just happened?
Yeah. And I don't think I was very concerned about scoring or anything at this point, because you drop a score and she's got a second vault and you drop a score. So, hey, we've had a great competition, not a big deal. And then the second vault.
I think she was going for the stick though there, because it was a great
Yeah.
vault.
And she just kind of opened out just a touch early.
I just remember, I mean, I just remember thinking, I've never seen her do that before.
No. And even at this point, though, I think it was shock that she fell, because she, as we've said, she just never fell on that vault. But I still think in the back of my mind, it was, okay, write that one off. That's the one we don't count. No big deal. Carrie's up. Carrie never misses a vault.
Yeah.
We're totally fine. Yeah, she just opened out early. Got her feet in front of her.
But that's what's so hard about those front landings is.
Yep. This is why I don't like front landing.
I know. I did a lot of them, but I just, my heart's pounding because, I mean, I watched her do that vault so many times, so perfect, and now Carrie Strug, the best vaulter on our team. The reason she is in the last spot was because she was our best vaulter. Absolutely. Yeah. And they're putting scores up on the screen. I just saw that. She needs a 9.4, 9.4.
Yeah.
We didn't know that. We did not know.
You can't know that because the competition's not over yet.
There's her parents watching. Can you imagine being a parent having to go through this?
No.
Bless our parents.
Yes, I've said I'm sorry a million times. Here she goes, first vault.
Oh, no.
And again, it's just...
This is where I make my face because we've never seen this.
And she's limping a little, but her leg, she came in with a bit of an injury. So I don't think I even thought about it as much. It was kind of, okay, we're shaking it off. You see that, how many athletes do that. So shaking it off. But then towards the end of the runway, it became, wait a second. This is not just shaking it off. Like, what's going on?
Oh, well, you see her ankle's already wrapped. She, at this point in your gymnastics, you have a few sore body parts. And, she just, I think, came in on her heel.
She looks like she was just a bit under-rotated, which, again, is just so odd for Carrie because she is a tremendous vaulter.
Oh, my goodness. I mean... Watching this, I can't imagine watching this live. For all of you guys that were there watching this, or you watch this on TV, your hearts must have been pounding because mine's pounding now, and I know
it honestly, I don't even think it was this intense being down on the floor because we just didn't have as much understanding of what was going on. There it is.
The one-legged landing.
I mean, it's both. It's so amazing. You want to cheer and shout and smile, but at the same time, your heart goes out because she is so injured. And I remember being back at the end, towards the end of the runway. Yeah. And again, you can't really see what's going on other than suddenly people are going up onto the podium. And that's when it goes, okay, there's a problem. And then after this, we don't see Carrie again until we're marching out for the award ceremony. So we have no idea what all has happened and how badly she's injured. And then, of course, you have the people that are rushing us out, get dressed. Everything's on a time frame. So get dressed, get going. We're wondering what's going on. We're trying to look, but people will come up and, okay, move it out. Let's get dressed for the award ceremony.
I'm excited to see some of that right now because for us personally, we couldn't get to her. She went off backstage. We put our warm-ups on. We marched backstage and then got set for this, medal ceremony. We had no idea where we truly finished because vault always finishes first, right? The other events, we don't know what's happening.
It's so fast.
And we're lined up behind that curtain not knowing what's happening and just being in this craziness. Like, you guys want a medal? Put your silky warm-ups on. Where is it? Here it is. And the whole time not knowing really what place we were in, where's Carrie, is she hurt? I mean, the whole thing was.
And the thing is, you can do the
craziness.
math in your head, but you just don't truly believe you've won a medal, much less a gold medal. You can't even possibly let your mind go to the reality of winning until you have that medal on, because you've seen too many things change. You know, scores get changed, or
we're seeing
they
the
post it
Romanian
wrong.
Team and the Russian team like completely upset because both teams were expected to beat us.
Yeah,
you know, and all of the world championships that I had been to, we finished, you know, silver or bronze. And we were beat by Russia or Romania, essentially, you know, and they were expected to win. We were not expected. And so this was a complete shocker. And you could see that complete disappointment, you know, on their faces. And for us, anything wasn't expected. Essentially, we were just doing our thing. And all of a sudden, boom, it ended and we were on top.
I don't know. I love watching the Olympics. I love sports in general. There's always something about the underdog, though. There's just something amazing about the spirit of never giving up. To just, you know, trying until the bitter end, and then to have the opportunity to come out on top, especially on home soil in front of a hometown crowd. Just amazing.
I mean, Bella's face says it all, though. Like, we did not know what was wrong with Carrie when that happened. And, you know, everybody's clearing the floor, and we're like cloud nine because we're just done with the competition, not knowing. And one of my favorite moments happens about this time. So I guess we did get to see. I don't even remember that hardly. We didn't get to see this. This is camera footage. We were long gone by this.
But I remember we lined up and like we were kind of like waiting to march out for the award ceremony. And they've cut this now. But all of a sudden we're in our uniforms and they were telling us to go, go, go. And we're like, no, we can't go without Carrie. And then suddenly Carrie comes with Bella and it's like, okay, wait, like we're going out as a team. That's what we're doing.
Yep. Yeah, we kept saying, where's Carrie? Where's Carrie? We're not going without Carrie.
And I don't think there was a question on here about did we understand this was Olympic history. I don't think we even truly understood the magnitude of what had happened that night. It is so surreal. And I think 24 years later, you start to understand it. And it's still surreal. But I don't think we understood the impact, especially when you didn't have social media back then. We didn't really have internet hardly back then. This was interesting. We all got out there. And no one thought about how to get, so I'm like, Carrie, I'm going to come around and I'm going to help you up onto the podium.
I know. Nobody prepared us.
Because I'm thinking logistics. Okay, how do we get Carrie up there?
I think, Shannon, we were talking right there. I think it was when we get up there, we're waving our right hand.
Yeah, wave right hand, wave here, wave there. And then
nobody ever talked about if we were in this moment, what we were supposed to do. Here we are, first time in this scenario. And
yeah. No one really prepared. I think when you see it on TV, you think it's choreographed and everyone knows what to do. We had no idea. It hadn't been done before.
Wow. I mean, first time ever. You know, I think that's unique. You know, we had USA Gymnastics. Essentially, we had like a USA Gymnastics warm-up. But when you make the podium, you have to put this special warm-up on. So we all changed. Even the coaches, you just saw Bella and Marta in these warm-ups, right?
Yeah.
We had to put all these warm-ups on in that craziness before we could go up on the podium to accept our medal.
There we
go. You go. Helping her up.
That moment, what was going through your mind? Because I don't even know if I had a clear thought.
I just, I just kept thinking it wasn't real. I remember all the way till we got back to our fraternity house where we stayed, and the Olympic medal was sitting on the desk, and I kept looking at it like, is that mine? Is that really mine? I don't know that that's mine.
Yeah.
I just, putting that around our necks, I mean, and I think the ending of it and the craziness of the whole thing made it seem like it was so fast. I don't remember a lot of it because of that.
Well, and you got whisked off. So as soon as, they played the national anthem, and I think that's the moment where it was kind of the things that went through my mind was just thank you, right? Thank you to all those people that didn't get to stand up there with us, but they were there. They're the ones that helped to get us there. Thank you to all the people in the audience and the fans across the world that cheered and stayed with us through the good times and the bad times too.
Were your parents sitting in the VIP box?
Nosebleeds? Yes, they were in the nosebleeds.
Me too.
But to your point, I was so excited to have my parents there because mine didn't either. We didn't have the money for them to travel internationally. So they did get to go to 92. We raised money. My community raised money in Oklahoma for them to go there. So they basically, the international meets that they went to were the 1992 Olympics. And then they got to be at this because it was hometown. There we are.
Woo! Right hand.
So crazy. Good job getting us all to be uniform and do the right thing. That was well choreographed, Amanda.
You what? Well,
I said that was well. No, but seriously, those are pictures that are there forever.
Book, and it's all the pictures as we're standing up there, and literally we're all talking to each other. Every photo is us looking at each other, going. And I think we're coordinating flowers in the right, hold to this. But, whatever it was, so that we could.
You have to send me some of those.
For that part.
Yeah. No one preps you. There's no handbook. You have to send me some of those, by the way. It's crazy how few pictures and videos we actually have of our years in sport because we didn't all have cameras. So, yeah.
Or the only photos you have are hard copies, so it's not easy to just send them.
You're trying to scan them.
Yeah. But, one other thing that I have been asked about was I have 2 Cabbage Patch dolls.
Oh, I missed the Cabbage Patch dolls. And
one
the Barbie.
That I found
have a Barbie.
In my kids' stuffed animal bucket, and one that's still in the box. So I have one of both, a boy and a girl. This one's in the kids' play bin.
I'm trying to think what else I have in my goodie bag over here. A lot of my stuff is in storage. Oh, I have okay, so I know we're doing team tonight, but I have my balance beam leotard.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. I think it's still, I can't tell if that's detergent or if it smells.
Instagram Live can't smell. It's okay.
That's all right. And this is so cool. Sometimes our fans send us these amazing, amazing things. And this just happens to be one that I have at my house. And someone hand drew this, which is absolutely incredible.
Woo!
Which that's pretty impressive because I can't draw a stick figure, but it's amazing the things that people reach out to us and share, whether it's social media nowadays or email or snail mail back in the day, and the things that they send. You guys are so awesome. I always feel like we have the absolute best fans ever. So thank you guys for that.
I saw somebody ask me about the Barbie. Yes, I have one. It's a little smashed. There's the Barbie. And I've seen some of you make comments about my hair and my Cabbage Patch I got with the short hair. I don't know. You guys vote. Do you like my hair in 96 or my quarantine hair that needs to be done? You tell me which one.
This is the first time I've done my hair in a while. It's now you have to do everything virtually. So
here goes the national anthem. What a special moment.
Oh, so amazing.
For me personally, Shannon, I had never been on a team that won gold. So it was the first time, besides Pan American Games, that I heard our national anthem at a major competition.
I'll never forget the first time I heard it. I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and it was at my second international meet. And I finally stayed on all 4 events and ended up winning the all around. And it was the first time that I even understood that they play the national anthem of the person that wins. I mean, I had no idea. Nobody told me. And to hear that while you're standing up there, to know that you are competing for something so much bigger than yourself was just awe-inspiring. And that's the moment I came home and I decided I was going to work as hard as I could because I wanted to do that on the biggest stage possible. And that was the Olympic Games.
Every little girl's dream right there, to be at the Olympics hearing your national anthem. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean,
So here's where we
I know
cry.
you were a part of 92, but like, to me, I look at that and it's legit. Like, dreams do come true. That is like, I mean,
I love this part where we all got together.
me too.
I love that picture. It was just our moment,
Nobody told
right?
us to do that. We just huddled up, and we're just so proud to be a part of that. Oh, we did not prepare for the dismount.
Well, I got her on one side, but I needed someone on the other side.
I know.
You know, that huddle was one of my favorite moments because it really was. And I mean, I love having the audience and inviting them in. Like, I love that. But it was that one moment in time that was just ours. No TV cameras, no anything, just us. And it was just a moment that we got to share.
I know people are asking what we said in that huddle, and I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the exact words, but I think we're all there's Mary Lou Retton
And Kim Smeskel.
my
There's my
girl.
92 TV.
But I think ultimately, you know, when we huddled up, we literally just said, we did it. We did it. We didn't talk about like we just won or we just made history. It was like we came here to be our best, and we were our best. And
Yeah. Absolutely. And then the media starts.
Any interviews?
Pardon?
We didn't get to see any interviews. This is an
No.
interview.
Well, they whisked us off, and we were doing solid interviews for the next couple of hours. It was
I would like to point
crazy.
out that I had to do the drug testing for the team. I passed.
I think I did it. I think I did it for all around and or event finals.
Well,
In
sure,
1993, I had to
won a
do drug
medal.
testing like 5 times. Wow.
I remember walking around the entire arena like this. That was definitely where it hit me. Like, what just happened?
And the
Unbelievable.
audience, it was
I
so
wish we could see
loud.
our parents in the stands. That would have been unbelievable.
Ah! Are you so excited? Do you feel like you're back there again?
Once again, to everybody out there, cheers to 24 years. And the good news is we get to watch the Olympics on our 25th anniversary.
right.
That is going to be amazing.
Tokyo, here we come. And to all the athletes that are out there training and to everyone that's watching, keep up the cheering, keep up the training. It's such an amazing experience. And I know me and Amanda, we're going to be cheering our hearts out for everyone.
And you guys, thank you so much for joining us for this like amazing moment for Shannon and me. It's our first time watching it. And we tried our best to get to questions, but you guys can definitely just reach out to us individually. We will try to answer those questions the best we can. We're newbies at this Instagram Live, but you know, thank you for being a part of this special moment for us. And 24 years of support of the Meg 7. We are so grateful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Shannon, it was great hanging out with you. We need to do this more often.
I know. Well, we could talk forever, even about non-gymnastic stuff. So,
we don't need to do it on Instagram Live. I'll just call you.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.